Hey everybody, welcome back here to my channel, and today I'm diving straight into a new little project. I'll get onto the details of that just in a moment. But before I do, just thank you to everyone that has subscribed so far, and if you're new here and you're not subscribed, don't forget to click the subscribe button. It really does help me out, and also give me a thumbs up for this video. And if you want to support me further, you can head over to my Patreon. It costs €3 a month, and there you get screenshots of the little things that I'm working on. You get those screenshots before anyone else, and also you get early access to my YouTube videos, so you get to see those before anyone else does. So basically, this is the water coaster that I designed for this month's monthly challenge. If you want to partake in that challenge, head back to the last video that I posted here on my channel, and you'll get all the details there on how to do so. It's really simple. You just have to build a park and then submit it via the submission form. So basically, I wanted to do something that wasn't like an obvious theme. So I mean, when I say obvious, I mean like Atlantis, pirate, all these kind of things that have boats and water, and so I wanted to avoid those and try and do something different. My original plan was to do like a moon scene. I wanted something lunar, and I thought it'd be cool to have like a water coaster on the moon, and have like ice where astronaut mining has happened and they've dug up all these ice crystals or something. That was my original idea, to do something completely different, do sci-fi. But it just wasn't happening, and I couldn't really, I don't think this was the right time to do that. So maybe I'll save that for another day. So I decided to play around with an Arabian theme, and I'm really happy that I did. I haven't done much Arabian before. I've done a little bit, when I think back to like Tycoon 3, I did a little tiny Arabian area in one of my parks there. And also in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, there was some like Arabian theming pieces that you could use, so that was really great. But yeah, I wanted to do something Arabian, and I'm going to do like a little town, a little village. And so I've named this Oasis Bay, because the theming is going to be that you go on this River Mirage kind of quest. You go through this like Arabian town, through the market, and then you're going to dive through and then splash down into the oasis at the end. So that's kind of the idea and the theme behind it all. So my task now is just to build this Arabian town, and this involves doing a lot of buildings. So oh dear, yeah. When I first started, I was a bit overwhelmed. I was like, oh no, what have I started? Like, am I going to be able to complete it? But I get super into what I'm doing, and I end up building it super quick. But yeah, so I'm starting off here with doing like a structure that's over the lift hill. I'm going to do a few different kind of towers and things, put along the track, and then have the town down below. So I have to start somewhere. So I started with this. This is actually taken from a reference that I found online. There's a new park in China, and it has this huge Arabian kind of area with like a tidal wave super splash ride. And I've kind of taken that kind of idea in the theming. I've found some screenshots and stuff. Oh, I found some pictures, and I took some screenshots, sorry, of those. And I'm using those as references to kind of get some ideas for how the building should be, etc. So this was something similar in that real life construction. And so I tried to use that building, but doing that onion shape in the game was super difficult. But I got there in the end, thanks to Freedom 2K. It helped me rotate one of the pieces around, and I was able to kind of create that Arabian onion looking kind of shape there for the top of this archway. I realize at the moment that this actual building is a little bit too high up the lift hill, so I'm actually going to save that as a blueprint and then just move it down ever so slightly so that the track passes through that kind of the two towers at like a kind of a good point. At the moment it looks just a little bit off. So yeah, so once I've done these towers, I'm actually going to go ahead today as well and do the station building as well. And yeah, this is kind of new territory for me, playing around with this kind of theme and trying to figure out what to do. There's some really cool windows and stuff from different mods. Windows is a good one. The windows in that mod have saved my life building this. And just trying to find different beams, different kind of things. And there's actually a mod, I can't remember what it's called now, but it has some really cool like castle pieces and different onion, I think it's fancy tech, I'm not sure. It has different onion roof domes and stuff, and that mod was a lifesaver for me for this kind of build. I really found a little technique in the end on how to do stuff. So right now I'm just putting in some catwalks, super boring, we'll just whiz through it. Just putting the catwalks there up the lift hill, and then also I'm going to put them on the little mid-course brake run section. That's just after this first little curved drop. And the great thing about Freedom 2K is that I can actually rotate those catwalks at a 45-degree angle and actually do some on the diagonal, which is super helpful because normally you can't build catwalks on the diagonal because they don't exist. But yeah, it seems to be the popular thing this month, as from looking on Discord, that we've all gone for like a Mediterranean type theme. Like I know the other builders as well that are participating this month have also gone for like Greek or Mediterranean type styles. I've gone for an Arabian style. So it seems to be the gone for theme this month. So I'm looking forward also to see some other themes that maybe are out of the box, ones that I haven't thought of myself. Like I thought I was being super out of the box doing Arabian, but now that I think about it, maybe it's a little bit of an obvious choice. Yeah, I actually really wanted to do Atlantis. I know it's like it's so overdone, and you think of Journey to Atlantis at SeaWorld and stuff, but those buildings and stuff are so cool. And I have done something similar before with an Atlantis theme. I built a SeaWorld park once, and I never released it because I never finished it. And this was like way back in the day, before we've got all these wonderful kind of possibilities now that we have with the game. But yeah, I built a SeaWorld. I did a Journey to Atlantis ride, and it was really cool. And I really love doing those style buildings. So I did actually kind of want to do that, but I really wanted to steer away from doing the obvious. But yeah, so right now I'm just laying in some paths, just getting an idea for like the guest path flow of the map. And so that's kind of why I kind of like to put my paths in nice and early, so I can really get an idea of how it's going to be. And then also what I do off camera after this is actually I'll place down some basic wall pieces just in random shapes, and I'll dot them about just to get an idea of where the buildings will go in the future, so I can kind of see what angles I want to put the buildings on. I'll show you more of that in the next episode of kind of what I did off camera, because I think I'll show you around in real time before I move on. So right now I'm going in and tackling that station building, and again using my good old trusty method, trial and error. I honestly don't know what I'm building. I have a reference picture of a really cool building that I found on Google, and I'm loosely basing this on that. I'm literally just making this up as I go along. I'm seeing a piece, I like it, and I'm placing it down, and then I'm figuring out if it fits or not. I know that I want to do a huge dome in the middle and have like some pillars going around, so I'm just kind of doing the main wall first around the station. And at this point as well, I had no idea how I was going to do the back of the station. Like sometimes I focus too much on the front of the station or front of a building, and then I get to the back of it and I just don't know what to do. So at this moment in time, I had no idea what I was doing with the back. So we'll get around to fixing that in a bit. And also I had no idea what colors I was using as well. I knew I wanted these sandy beige colors, but I wanted to do some variations in there, have some darker kind of shades and stuff, but it was looking a bit muddy as well, and I wasn't quite happy. So I do play around with the color a lot. Like I start changing things and changing the walls and the pillars and stuff, and it might get on your nerves a little bit that I keep changing the colors, but it has to be done when I'm doing this, and I keep doing that normally until I'm happy with like a color scheme and stuff. And I have a sort of a color scheme for this map. It's always good to have a color palette. You see that other builders, Astrotron and Robo Flamingo, do this a lot. They'll place down some colors, like 4 or 5 colors, and those are the colors that they kind of stick to for the map, and it really helps tie everything together. And I've done something similar. We have these sandy brown colors, and then I'm doing kind of highlights of turquoise, that dark rich turquoise color. I'm also going to do some light pale blues and some burgundies in there as well. Long as the colors all kind of go together nicely, I'm happy. So now I've put that dome in the middle there using this really cool pre-made piece, saving myself some time. I probably could have built that out of just normal generic pieces, but you know, I haven't got time for that. So I just, if it's pre-made and it's there as a mod, I'll place it down and stuff. It just saves a little bit of time, and you know, I'm not really cheating that way. And those windows again, lifesaver. They are so great. I keep using those over and over. I don't completely finish this building. I think that I finish it at the time of building this, but I do go back later on and actually added just a couple more details to edges of the towers and stuff there, just to make it look a little bit more detailed and interesting. I realized it was looking a bit flat at this moment in time, but the general kind of shape of that building is now coming together. Just literally placing things down and just seeing if it looks good or not. Like I said, trial and error, such a helpful method, and I really recommend it. If you're really unsure on what to build, just build and place things down, take a step back, have a look, and then think, okay, that didn't quite work. Remove pieces, add pieces on. You know, just take a blank wall and throw stuff at it and see what sticks, and then hopefully you have a nice building or something at the end of it. That's kind of the method that I go for very often. It's not too often that I have something pre-planned and I know how I'm going to do it. So I wanted to do something fancy around the top of this roof here, so I'm doing like these half circles with these spiky bits. I thought that looked cool, but then I wanted to add something more to it, and I ended up, I don't know if I do it right now or not, but I ended up adding like an umbrella turned on its side, and then putting that around just to kind of add like a pattern. And I was really loving it for like a few minutes, and then after I zoomed out and came back in again, I hated it. So maybe I'll show you that. I'm not sure if I cut it out or not. Just adding in some more of those turquoise highlights there. Oh, here we go. Here's the umbrella. So as you can see, I've flipped it on its side and I've made it a bit smaller, and I'm putting it around just to kind of give it like a spiral pattern, and it looks ridiculous. I thought it looked really cool at the time, but I really don't like it at all. So they will be removed very shortly. But yeah, I'm really happy with the progress so far. I can definitely see like a direction that I'm going in, so that's good. I've only focused on a small area of the map so far, but once I kind of got like a general like building style for this theme, and I can kind of see what I'm doing, it's easy to then apply to the rest of the buildings and the rest of the area. So I'm really looking forward to tackling the rest of the map and getting more kind of buildings done. I'm really happy with it so far. I hope you like it as well. I'm just going to move on and just do a few more details. I'm just tying up some of the colors, adding in some of these lovely pillars, and then I'm just going to go around to the back of the building and just kind of sort out the back a little bit. I'll do that quickly. It's really boring, so I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So just put down some shapes and some roofs and some more pillars as well. I've kind of left the back a little bit more open than the front, which I think is really cool. I like how that looks a lot. And adding in these little spiky triangles as well. Can't remember what mod they're from, but I found them. I think they look wicked, so using those. I use those a lot as well actually in the rest of the build. Adding in some more of those nice turquoise highlights as well. In the back of this, I'm going to do like a nice little like platform, and like as you can see there, just skip the head a little bit. I've added in some really cool doors and some really cool onion-shaped frames, which are from the wall textures mod. And then I'm just going in and I've just done a little queue line, but I'm going to go back in as well at a later date and add some more details to that queue line. But I've got it in place, so I can kind of see where it's going to go. And now I'm just going to add some like railings and kind of path borders here around the front, just to kind of break up the path from the sand areas. And again, something I've spoke about before on Discord, I think, with others, but it's really difficult when you're doing like a desert theme. It's like you don't want to add too much foliage because there wouldn't be that much foliage. But I needed to add rocks and stuff just to fill in these areas. And if you're ever in a struggle and you're in a pickle with theming and you don't know what to do, just add some rocks and some foliage and it can save you. But I was trying to kind of lay off too much foliage on this one. I'm going to put palm trees in that around the water area because it's going to be an oasis. But like for the rest of the map, I want to keep it dry and deserty. So I'm just going to do rocks, and I'm going to try and find some foliage pieces that are more like dry plants and stuff. I'm sure there's some in the Max Fruits foliage mod set. So yeah, they are. So I'm just placing down these nice dry bushes and some dry grass, which kind of, you know, I'm using foliage but not too much. So I'm just going to leave you now with a screenshot of what I did today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you next time for another episode here on my channel. Bye!